I'm Wyatt Cash at Scoop News Group, and we're here at FedTalks with John Landwehr, Public Sector CTO at Adobe. John, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Let me start by asking, in your opinion, what's the biggest storyline in federal IT over the past year?
Well, there are a lot of agencies that have really done great work in digital transformation on a very compressed schedule. Too numerous to count, I think, the number of projects that have been accomplished over the last year that are really awesome at providing more online services, whether it's to employees, to businesses, or out to public consumers as well. But I think there's a separate but related story, which is that federal government websites now have more mobile visitors than desktop visitors. So this was a change that has occurred over the last year, and you can see this on the analytics.usa.gov website, which does aggregate analytics over all of the federal sites. And it's been over the last year, where I was just checking this morning, that it's now up to 55% of the visitors to federal websites are from mobile devices, 43% from desktop, and then the rest from tablet and other devices. This is a big shift, and it's important for the digital property owners to recognize that, because all of these federal websites now have to be mobile friendly, because that's where the majority of the users are coming from. It means that every page on the website needs to be easily readable. You shouldn't have to pinch and zoom and pan and swipe and all that on your smartphone, and that all of the electronic forms and signature processes and approval processes in those systems all need to be mobile friendly. And I think a lot of the federal government internet and intranet sites initially had done a great job with the homepage, but as you started to drill down on things, the content was a little bit more challenging to see. But now we've got the analytics information that shows this is the majority of visitors now are for mobile devices, and every transaction that's done on the internet or intranet needs to be mobile friendly.
Well, that makes a lot of sense, and that's a significant transition. You're right. Let me ask you next. The nation has faced a significant uptick in cybersecurity attacks in 2020 and 2021. How can the federal government lead the way to protect information and national interests against our adversaries?
Well, first, there's a lot of talk lately about zero trust, and this is something that we've been behind for a number of years to make it easier and more secure to share sensitive information across a variety of devices, whether it's mobile devices, remote terminals, especially for telework, or even sensitive information within office environments. So I think that will be an increasing theme that applies well across government now to industry. But I think another big one actually is FedRAMP. And when you look at the progress that FedRAMP has made, with now over 234 authorized cloud services that are available, Adobe has 7 of those, but that has set a very high bar for making sure that cloud service providers are implementing security controls, documenting those controls, having those controls tested, and not just done once, but it's a recurring thing to make sure that security posture is maintained. And of course, while that is required for the federal government to procure cloud services, we've actually been finding that state and local government looks for FedRAMP. We've been finding that international governments look at FedRAMP. We've also been finding that commercial organizations have asked to review our FedRAMP documentation, because they see FedRAMP as the best, highest standard globally available to ensure that cloud services are secure. And I think that there's a lot invested in there that, again, not just the federal government can use, but also industry as well, to know that they're getting secure cloud services.
Well, that's a great point about FedRAMP. Next, how would you characterize the pace and success of federal digital transformation efforts today compared to, the past couple of years? And what do you attribute that to?
Well, things were definitely accelerated over the last 17 months as folks needed to communicate, collaborate, transact from different places, whether it was the workforce or those that they served. And that certainly accelerated it. But I think what helped that acceleration was the more rapid adoption of cloud services. That if you need to transform your website to be more mobile friendly, to support electronic signatures for transactions and approvals, to be able to do ticket management, benefits enrollment, any number of things. Traditionally, it was a very long road to modernize those services of hardware acquisition and loading up your data center and getting all the prerequisite infrastructure set up to even launch your service. And now, again, with all these cloud services that are available and authorized with FedRAMP, agencies can get up and running so much more quickly by having not just the infrastructure as a service or platform as a service, but more and more software as a service applications, which are a lot quicker to deploy and integrate to their other systems that serves their mission.
And lastly, and perhaps on a slightly more personal note, what in the federal technology landscape most excites you in the days and months to come?
Well, there's a lot going on. I would say the item that's the top of my list right now that I find most intriguing and beneficial in a number of different ways is the work that login.gov is doing. So login.gov provides a single sign-on interface for employees or business or out to consumers and the public so that when they go to government websites, they don't have to create yet another username and password. We've all got way too many. And login.gov provides that single sign-on of a multi-factor authenticated service that can be used on multiple government websites to reduce that virtual keychain of all the different credentials that the public would need to manage. We've integrated with login.gov to our Adobe Experience Manager, and it's used not only for that single sign-on, but there's also identity proofing that goes along with login.gov. So not only does it create that credential for you to log in, but it's also verifying based on information that you provide that it really is you. And then that becomes part of the attestation that each supporting website knows that it's not just you by your email address, but it's you by your name, your address, your social security number, your birthday, other things that prove that it's really you requesting those benefits, doing the online transaction, whatever it happens to be. So I think that multifaceted, make it easier for consumers, make it more secure, and offer more services to those that integrate with logon.gov, not only at the federal level, but also now it sounds like they're going to state and local to offer that service, I think is a win for government and the public together.
Absolutely. Well, John Landwehr, thank you so much for taking time to join us here at FedTalks and sharing some of your insights and perspectives on the evolution of government and digital transformation.
Thank you.